it.
Testing. Woohoo!
Okay, band can start. Band can start.
I'm going to begin our time this evening by saying, wow. It's been quite a day here at the Salvation Army in CBS, and the outpouring of love and support from this community has been absolutely awesome. You look around, and I think there's already been a few good shots that have gone in on the toys here, and so you at home that are watching this evening know full well what we're celebrating and what we're talking about. This is the 7th annual Riley Mercer Memorial Toy Drive. And Bernie and Louise, it gets bigger every year. This year has certainly been different. As we sat some weeks ago and we discussed what would the toy drive look like in 2020 in the midst of COVID-19. Well, we quickly discovered that we're living in a bit of a virtual world these days, and we thought that this would be the best route to go. And boy, it didn't disappoint as we decided that we would do a drive-by, and the word got out over and over and over again over the last number of weeks. Louise did a great job in her PR of this event, and I believe a lot of people have really latched on to what this day is all about as we celebrate two wonderful lives in that of Riley and Alex. And we can truly say again this evening that their spirit is very much alive in this community. And the community never, ever disappoints in this event. So thank you, Conception Bay South. We appreciate you so much. And we appreciate the fact that you've taken time to give again this year. And so you're looking at a lot of toys. There's also a number of donations that have come in via e-transfer to Louise, as well as a number of gift cards that have come in. And we have no totals on any of that, but we know that it was a lot. And again, we say thank you. Isn't it good to hear the band? I took a moment to open up the Facebook page, and a lot of people are already commenting on how good it is to hear the band. And so welcome back, CBS Band, to our sanctuary. It's good to have you as part of this event this year. There's just a few around our congregation this evening, around this hall, who decided to come along, who's been invited to be a part of this event. And I want to, without mentioning any names, I just want to welcome you. Simply because I don't have all your names in front of me and what your titles are and all that. So I don't want to mess that up. But you know who you are. And I just want to thank you so much for your support and for your love to Bernie and Louise, and your love to the Salvation Army, and your trust that you've given to us to be a part of this event. So God bless you. And we look forward to moving now into the events of this evening. And without further ado, I'm going to invite Louise and Bernie, if you would, to come at this time and share in a candlelight ceremony. And in the midst of their coming, I'm going to invite the band then to make your way to the back, if you would, please. Thank you so much. Special welcome, of course, to all of you who are viewing from home, wherever it is in this town, province, country, around the world that you're tuning in from. We welcome you and pray that you will be blessed this evening as you celebrate this event with us. Louise and Bernie, if you would come, please. We're doing the slideshow first? All right. So there's a slideshow, and then there will be the candlelight. Am I right? All right.
Dear Mom and Dad, please don't be sad. I hope soon you'll understand how my short life had a much bigger plan. More than birthday cakes, having my first date, and hearing me say I do instead of goodbye. Please sing this lullaby. It's okay, I'm alright, I'm still by your side, laughing on swings, chasing butterfly wings like the dawn. No, I won't be gone long. This isn't goodbye, this is only good night. Sometimes even parents need a lullaby. When you walk by my room tonight, before you break down and cry, take a step back on your knees. Then you'll see, just like autumn leaves, I had to leave so you could start to believe. Now I'll carry you just like you carried me. It's okay, I'm alright, I'm still by your side, laughing on swings, chasing butterfly wings like the dawn. No, I won't be gone long. This isn't goodbye, this is only good night. Sometimes even parents need a lullaby. Death can't divide your heart from mine. It's okay, I'm alright, I'm still by your side, laughing on swings, chasing butterfly wings like the dawn. No, I won't be gone long. This isn't goodbye, this is only good night. Sometimes even parents need a lullaby. Ooh, even parents need a lullaby.
Well, we'd like to thank Louise and Bernie for inviting us, the worship team, again to participate in your special event. We're so glad to be able to do this for you. Now, we don't have a big congregation here tonight, but we're going to sing a couple of familiar Christmas carols that you might not have heard for the band tonight. And the first one is "O Beautiful Star of Bethlehem." So if those of you who are here would like to stand and put your mask on, you can sing with us as we share this song together, please. I invite you to stand as we share, "Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem." Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shining afar through shadows dim, giving the light for those who long have gone, guiding the wise men on their way unto the place where Jesus lay. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon us until the glory dawns. Give us a lamp to light the way into the land of perfect day. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Oh, beautiful star, the hope of rest for the redeemed, the good and blessed. Yonder in glory when the crown is won. For Jesus is now that star divine, brighter and brighter he will shine. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon us until the glory dawns. Give us a lamp to light the way into the land of perfect day. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. That was pretty good. We're going to sing one more song, another one that we've often, and I think every time we've always sung it, Mary's Boy Child. A long time ago in Bethlehem, so the Holy Bible says, Mary's boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day. Let's sing it out, and if you're at home watching and you want to sing along, sing it out with us and enjoy it as we share. A long time ago in Bethlehem, so the Holy Bible says, Mary's boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a king is born today, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. While shepherds watched their flocks by night, they saw a bright new shining star. They heard a choir sing a song, the music seemed to come from afar. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a king is born today, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Now Joseph and his wife Mary came to Bethlehem that night. They found no place to bear her child, not a single room was inside. By
he found a little nook in a stable all forlorn. And in a stable cold and dark, Mary's little boy was born. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a king is born today, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Trumpets sound and angels sing, listen to what they say, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day.
Thank you. You may be seated, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kathleen Bradley. It's my honor and privilege to do the tribute to Riley. As most of you can see, I'm wearing my ugly Christmas sweater tonight with my flashing lights. And I did this intentionally for two reasons. First of all, this is a celebration of Riley's life. And secondly, I think Riley would be really pleased to know I sat here with a light-up Christmas sweater on doing this tribute. I first met Riley Mercer when he came to Villanova Junior High when he was in grade 5. He was a sweet, goofy kid with a grin from ear to ear. In those early days, I really didn't have that much to do with Riley. He was a young, carefree student, and he was doing his thing. I clearly remember the day I had my first really memorable conversation with Riley. He had come to my office with a group of students. They were looking for some help because one of their friends was having a bit of a hard time in class, and they wanted to know how they could help and support their friend. We chatted for a while about some things they could do, and the rest of the students went back to class. But I noticed Riley held back, and he came over and he said to me, "Miss, do you know I have a sister in heaven?" And I said, "No, Riley, I don't know that." And he proceeded to tell me the story of Alex and how she had passed away when she was in grade 3. And we chatted for a bit, and I told him if he ever wanted to talk about that, he could certainly come back. And I thanked him for sharing, and he went back to class. And I remember thinking in that moment how he had decided to let me in. I knew that he felt he could trust me. Little did I know what would lay in store for myself and Riley over the next couple of years. Other than smiles and hellos in the hallways and classrooms, I really didn't have a whole lot to do with Riley until he was diagnosed with his own cancer. I remember speaking to Louise and telling her I would keep an eye on him at school, and I would check in with him to make sure he was feeling okay while he was at school. I was always amazed by Riley through his treatment. His positivity was contagious. You could never ever feel sorry for Riley. He was having no part of that. When I would touch base with him to check in, he never felt angry or sad. To be honest, he was so positive, it was hard not to be positive around him. So a lot of my keeping an eye on Riley had to be done on the sly. I remember Riley would like to walk home, and I remember offering him a drive when he wanted to walk. But no, Riley was going to walk. When he would tell me that he was going to go on and that he was good, I would wait until he had a head start, and then I would follow him home in my car. A couple of times he caught me, and he told Louise that he thought I was following him. I guess I wasn't nearly as sly or as devious as I thought I was being, and I don't think I would make a very good stalker. When Riley left Villanova for Holy Spirit, his first treatments and surgery were over. We all held on to the hope that things would be okay. For quite a while, my main contact with Riley was through this webpage, the Friends of Riley Mercer. This started as a way for his friends to keep in contact with Riley while he was having his treatment, and it became a way for us all to stay in touch as things progressed. And sadly, Riley's fight with cancer was not over. But even as sick as he was, Riley could still always bring a smile to your face. On Riley's birthday, I went to his house with several of his classmates. As sick as he was at the time, Riley was so happy to know everyone was there. Riley's vision and hearing were all but gone at that point, so Louise would spell out on his hand the letters of the names of the people who were there. He would break into a big smile as he blurted out each name when he figured them out, and each person was so happy to hear their name called. I remember knowing how I felt when he smiled and yelled out my name after only a few letters. He had that way of making you feel like you were the most important person in the room. There are many things Riley gave us through his life and through his passing, and he left his mark on so many people who knew him and loved him, and on those who were touched just by his story. Riley has now been gone more years than I've known him, yet he continues to have a major impact on my life. I make many trips to Topsail Beach and sit on Riley's bench and gaze out at the ocean. Each Christmas I put my paper crane, Riley's paper crane, on my tree. These were paper cranes that students made for Riley's vigil, and I put it on my Christmas tree every year to remind me of Riley and to remind me of the spirit of Christmas. When I come to the toy drive each year, I am amazed at how the Riley effect continues to inspire so many people to be kind and generous and good to each other. I look at Riley's classmates, beautiful young men and women now, who show their remarkable courage and strength and love for Riley and for each other during his illness. I know they are doing and will continue to do great things because of the impact Riley had upon them. I see the people who attend SOAR and the Ride for Riley, and the list goes on and on. And just like me, there are countless of other people who have their Riley stories of how he changed them and impacted their lives and made them better people. Riley made us a little kinder, a little more loving. He showed us faith, hope, and positivity, even in the darkest hours. And he did all of this while not taking himself too seriously. And here we are once again. Tonight we are coming together through this webpage. Little did Riley know that this group would connect thousands of people, provide comfort to those whose hearts are heavy, give us a way to share our stories and to keep his memory alive. And tonight this group has allowed us to do the impossible, for us all to gather and celebrate and give to this wonderful toy drive. In these times of social distancing and bubbles, Riley has found a way for us to connect once again, and more importantly, to make sure that the many children who receive presents from this toy drive will wake Christmas morning and experience firsthand what we call the Riley effect. I can honestly say that Riley has made a major impact on me, and his presence is with me. As most of you know, Riley was a big fan of Toy Story, so I think it's fitting to end with these words to Riley. As the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're going to see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. Thank you all for keeping Riley's memory alive while helping those who need it most at Christmas time. And from my family to yours, I wish you a Merry Christmas. Be safe, everybody.
This time of year, we all look for hope, reasons to hope. We all look for joy, and we look for love. And we see all of that before us in what has been contributed this evening. And yes, there will be many, many children who will awaken on Christmas morning and be filled with joy and the happiness that this can bring. But Christmas brings hope and joy and love and peace because of one little child, Jesus Christ. He is the ray of hope in our lives. A ray of hope flickers in the sky. A tiny star lights up way up high. All across the land dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when a child is born. A silent wish sails the seven seas. The winds of change whisper in the trees, and the walls of doubt crumble, tossed and torn. This comes to pass when a child is born. A rosy hue settles all around. You've got to feel you're on solid ground. For a spell or two, no one seems forlorn. This comes to pass when a child is born. And all of this happens because the world is waiting for one child. Black, white, yellow, no one knows. But a child that will grow up and will turn tears to laughter, hate to love, war to peace, and everyone to everyone's neighbor. And misery and suffering will be words to be forgotten forever. It's all a dream, an illusion now. It must come true sometime soon, somehow. All across the land dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when a child is born. This comes to pass when a child is born.
Just don't know how long a battery is going to last, and so you switch it off, making sure that what you're using is going to work. It's kind of important when you're on live stream, or no one's going to hear what you got to say. Hope. I just need a few moments now of of your time before we continue to move on into this service this evening. And how wonderful it is to hear of special tributes that has gone forth, and great music and singing as well. All brings about this wonderful celebration that brings us together. And it was mentioned on one of the comments of those who are watching on live stream. It's so wonderful to see our community come together. And my, how great it is. And we've only been here a year and a half. And what a year and a half it's been, from Snowmageddon to COVID-19. And my goodness, every little obstacle that can kind of get in the way has tried to do that. But you know what? We've experienced one thing. It doesn't get any better than Conception Bay South. And we have grown to love Bernie and Louise. We've grown to love this community and the togetherness it brings. And it doesn't matter whether it's COVID-19 that strikes or not. It's not going to slow down an event such as this. The community will pull together and make it happen. And how wonderful it is. In the bleak darkness of this fallen world shines one constant: hope. Hope that consoles the heart of the distressed. Hope that brightens the gray skies. Hope that uplifts the downcast spirit. Hope that ministers to the wounded soul. Hope that can be passed along from one life to another, from family to family, from friend to friend. Hope. Hope is a vital part of life, isn't it? Hope drives and motivates us. It gives us the power to endure in hard times and to excel in good times. Without hope, we're lost. We have no purpose. And I look to Louise and Bernie, and I say to you today, and you know the essence of this, if it weren't for hope, where would you be today? Where would you be today? If there's ever a time in history that brings about a cry for hope, it's most likely now. And I believe it would do each of us well to be more sensitive than ever to the needs around us. Be the best neighbor you can be. Don't miss the opportunity to show that you love and that you care. Don't be backwards at all in showing that. You've seen the signs lately and the messages lately that says, be kind. And I believe it's the message that we want to get out. It's the message of hope, and I believe it's shone through here today in a big, big way. It's Christmas. And it's an amazing reminder once again of the showing forth to those around us who may be battling with this idea of hope, that it is indeed possible. That the spirit of Christmas brings about this message, the message of hope. There is hope today. In Matthew 1, in the scriptures, in the Bible, it says, Matthew 1:23, the virgin will be with child, will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. I encourage you who are here for this very special occasion again this year, those who are tuning in around our communities and around the world, that the spirit of Alex and Riley Mercer is very much alive. That hope came at Christmas in the form of a baby, and today we continue to celebrate that hope. We have the opportunity to share that hope through what we do in the giving back to help the many needs within our community. We celebrate God's gift of hope through the Christ of Christmas, and we always love the opportunity to pass that along and share that with others. There are many who are faced with uncertain futures, loss, even death. We have this certainty today. Christ meets with us in our pain and fills us with a hope that will not disappoint. Even though we live in a broken world with so much going on around us, there is hope in the midst of all of that. The Apostle John says in John 1:14 from the New Living Translation, he says, "The Word, who is Jesus, became human and made his home among us. He was full of unfailing love and faithfulness." He moved into our neighborhood. He came to walk with us. He came to journey with us. He gave up all of the divine rights of heaven to become a man so he could identify with us in our need. We look around at our world and we see it every day, as I know we see it often as well. People living and people dying without hope, and they're wondering, where is it? How can I get it? Friends, we have what they desperately need. We have hope. And when we live in hope in the face of brokenness, the world will notice and will want to embrace that as well. And I believe through what has happened here this day, it is shown forth once again that there is hope in the midst of darkness. There is hope in the midst of despair. Humankind hasn't totally lost it, but there's still a whole lot of kindness. There's a whole lot of love. There's a whole lot of care yet that folks want to give. And so, friends, again this year, we've had the awesome privilege to give. But I want to ask you this. I'm going to wrap it up here. What are we giving? What are we giving? Is it just a toy? Is it just a gift card? An item of food for the table? All of this is wonderful stuff. Well and good. But I believe what we need to wrap with that gift, with that tangible item, whatever it is the gift of hope. These toys will be sorted, they'll be packed, and they'll be distributed by Sherry and her team, all in the spirit of giving hope. And I believe that is what we do year after year after year, and it's been 7 years now that this has been happening. And it continues to grow. And I believe every year, along with that gift that's bestowed upon some family, upon some child, and upon some household, is the gift of hope. God gave us hope in the form of his Son, Jesus Christ, who came in a little stable in Bethlehem because there was no room in the inn. And I believe he has called us to share that hope. The Salvation Army, CBS, exists to share the love of Jesus Christ, to meet human needs, and to be a transforming influence in the lives of our community. We exist to give hope today. And I'm going to add a little something to that, and I'm going to say, every day. We're so grateful to be able to do that so freely here in our community that is always so supportive. I want to thank you, Louise and Bernie, for your big hearts that are very evident as you celebrate your two precious children. And you give back to the community in this way to keep their memory and their spirits alive. You work tirelessly to make this a success. Thank you for giving hope. And God bless you for embracing that hope in your own journey. To this amazing community of Conception Bay South, and I will say surrounding areas, thank you for your generosity. Wow. Thank you for your love and your outpouring of support. To always want a partner to make a difference in so many lives. Thank you for giving hope. The love of God and the hope that he gave through Jesus on that first Christmas. Let it be a driving force behind our giving this Christmas, as we will once again present, as Major Claudette sang, a ray of hope to so many. All across this land dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when a child is born. Merry Christmas, friends. God bless you. And may this be a year of newfound hope for all of us. Amen. Let's now take some time for another video tribute to Riley. Let's watch.
Friends are remembered in many different ways. I remember my friend Alex in a very special way. She always showed courage, and she never was afraid. She taught me many lessons through the friendship we had made. Alex is an angel now, beautiful and white. I feel as though she protects me through the day and night. With each passing year, I think of the fun times we shared. Sometimes I feel sad, but I know Alex is in a much better place, and I will never forget her beautiful smiling face. Forever, for always, for Alex. So that was a poem that I wrote when I was, I guess, 9 years old, 10 years old maybe, shortly after Alex's passing. And I read it today and I still remember, how that felt when I was that little 9-year-old girl who lost her friend. And, I am much older now. I have made it to 27 years on this planet. And I have to say, the experiences that you go throughout your life, especially at such a young and impressionable age, at 9 years old, it stays with you, and it really, it impacts the decisions you make and the friendships that you have moving forward. And Alex was a very, very special person in my life, and someone that has forever changed the way that I look at friendships. And often now in my adult life, I'm actually a teacher, and I teach kids that are in grade 5. So they're 10 and 11 years old. And it's, there are times when I do reflect back on my younger self and some of the friendships that I made then, and I look at my students and see the relationships that they're forming, and also I am supporting them through struggles that they're going through in their life, and some have dealt with loss, and some have dealt with sickness in their family and hardships. And I remember how that felt at my age and how it impacted me. And it's been that experience that I had losing Alex and going through my first loss at such a young age. It's something that I can really speak to now, because I see those friendships and those bonds that students are making in my class, and they matter, they count. They can be forever long lasting in your heart, because there's not a day that goes by when the weather is warm and I see a butterfly. Every time, the first thought that pops into my head is Alex. And there are little things, little moments that make me reflect on that special friendship that we had. I remember watching Josie and the Pussycats, or having Joe Louis and having sleepovers. And it was one of those first friendships that, when you are 9 and 10 years old, your friends are everything to you. My friendships were so important. And I often see the same kind of feelings that my students are having, in which, your friends are everything, and if a conflict happens or something happens in your friend group, your world is shattered. If there was an argument on the playground, or if someone said something and it hurt their feelings, their day and even their week at times is just completely thrown off course. So, especially, and I'm a new teacher, so especially, at the beginning of my career, when I start to see this kind of thing play out in my classroom, I think about the fact that I had such a beautiful friendship with Alex when I was 9 years old, and the fact that I had to lose her. And it was very challenging, but that poem that I wrote, it is very special to me, and it is true. She taught me many lessons through the friendship we had made. I always think about Alex's sweet smiling face and how brave and courageous she was through everything she went through. And she'll always be here in my heart, and I am absolutely honored today to be making a tribute and talking about her and my friendship with her, and it's very, very special. I actually pulled this poem from a memory box that I still have at my parents' house, that I'm going to insert some photos, so you may be seeing them soon flashing on the screen, but I've kept so many little trinkets and special things that mean so much to me, and it's really special every time that I get to go through that box and revisit some of those old memories. It speaks volumes. So I want to say that Alex will always, forever and for always be in my heart. And whether I am 27 or 37, I know that I'm always going to look back on that courageous, beautiful, brave little girl that I met when I was 9 years old. And, to be honest, there are things that I've gone through in my life, and I always think back to the fact that, think about what Alex went through, think about how brave she was, and if she at 9 could go through that, I know that I can too. So thank you for asking me to be here to do this tribute. I have never been able to make this event in the past, as I no longer live in Newfoundland, but I am honored to make a virtual tribute, and I will be singing a very short snippet of a song that brings me a lot of peace and comforting, and I'd like to share it with you as well. So please enjoy. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart, then you can start to make it better. Hey Jude, don't be afraid. You were made to go out and get her. The minute you let her under your skin, then you begin to make it better.
Well, that's really hard to follow. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this portion, our closing ceremony of our day-long virtual life of celebration of life of our beautiful children, Alex and Riley. And welcome to our 7th annual Riley Mercer Memorial Toy Drive. COVID has certainly taken away from the format of our toy drive this year, but it hasn't taken away from our community spirit. For those of you who may be watching our toy drive for the first time tonight, let me introduce myself. My name is Louise Mercer, and this is my husband Bernie down here. And we are the proud parents of Alex and Riley, whom both lost their battle with brain cancer. Our daughter Alex at 9 years of age on August 2nd, 2002, and our son Riley, 15 years of age, 7 years ago today. Author Natalie Heimelrich once said, "We do not have control over many things in life and death, but we do have control over the meaning we give it." During both Alex and Riley's illness, we had no control over the outcome. Despite our best efforts, God's plan was to bring them home to be with Him. But we did have control over what was to come next for us, and we were determined to give their lives meaning. It was our decision to choose which path we were going to take, and I'm not going to lie and tell you that it was an easy decision, because it wasn't. It would have been so easy to stay locked behind our door and not have to face the world and not have to watch the same world pass us by, missing out on milestone after milestone. I knew I did not want their deaths to be in vain. We had fought so hard for Riley's health and shared our story with so many that I knew we just couldn't let it end there. There had to be something more for us, and I asked myself what it could be. The question we get asked over and over is how we can do this, how we can take such a tragedy and turn it into something so positive. I just want to say that I know what we do is out of the ordinary. Celebrating our children's lives the way we do is certainly not the norm, but there has never been anything normal about our lives. We had two extraordinary, beautiful children who both traveled two extraordinary journeys in their short lives, so it is only fitting that they have an extraordinary legacy. As their parents, it is our duty to ensure that legacy lives on, and we have vowed to do just that. TV personality Mr. Rogers once said, "Often when you think you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else." How true this has been. Through the passing of Riley came the birth of the Riley effect. I think Tom Walsh of Friends of Riley coined the phrase, and I have heard this term, the Riley effect, many times over since the loss of Riley. The effect Riley has had on the lives of so many people has astounded me. The Riley effect has taken on a life of its own. For it is through the Riley effect that a Ride for Riley motorcycle ride that couldn't even happen because of COVID could raise over $20,000. The Riley effect stopped traffic. Traffic was held at a standstill throughout CBS in Paradise on Riley's Big Mary Day in November 2013. This same Riley effect also caused standing room only at last year's Photos with Santa at Worsley Park. The Riley effect has brought hundreds of you to our annual Memorial Toy Drive for the past 7 years, collecting thousands of dollars worth of toys. And how can we forget the Riley effect, bringing into the CBS Paradise Food Bank more than $28,000 on a virtual fundraiser? The Riley effect has reached into the hearts of so many, so deeply that compassion and generosity has become the norm here in CBS and surrounding areas, not just for Riley, but for other struggling families as well. Is the Riley effect because of Riley's faith, strength, and courage? Maybe. Or is the Riley effect something that is so deep within us all and needed to be stirred to remind us that we are all here for a reason? We all have a purpose, and we are all in this life together. Whatever the reason, I am so glad the Riley effect has brought so much good to the world. Losing both our children has been an indescribable journey, so much so that it is hard for me to put into words. For if you have never lost a child, it is impossible for you to know how it feels. One of the hardest parts of losing my children has been losing myself, feeling I have no identity anymore. Who am I? What am I? A child without parents is an orphan. A wife who lost her husband is a widow. But what is a parent who lost her child? I finally found a word this week after much research that describes what I am, who I am. I am a vilomah. V-I-L-O-M-A-H. The word vilomah means against a natural order. Losing your child is certainly going against the natural order. In China, there is a saying, the gray-haired should not bury those with black hair. The word for me is not just a label, nor does it change how I feel, but it does give me an identity. I know now who I am and what I am. I want to take a moment and mention my sweet Alex. After the loss of Alex, I always felt a little guilty because I thought that Riley may have lived in his sister's shadow. And now I feel guilty because now I feel Alex exists in her brother's shadow. Because Alex has gone 18 years and Riley has gone 7, the focus tends to go on Riley. But I'm going to backtrack a little bit today because Bern and myself were down at Topsail Elementary School today to put up a few Christmas decorations for Alex. And all the children happened to be out for a recess. And while we were pinning our candy canes up on the fence, a bunch of little girls came by. They were in grade 4. And the little girl looks up at me and she said, I know you. I seen you on TV yesterday. And I heard you on the radio too. And then I thought to myself, this little girl is in grade 4. I didn't see her before. Alex has gone 18 years. Alex's way is at Topsail School for the last 16 years. And I thought, Alex has her own legacy. Every kid that has gone through Topsail Elementary knows Alex, knows her story, knows Riley, knows our story. So I'm sure 3,000 kids must have passed through Topsail School in the last 18 years. And so Alex has a legacy. And, she doesn't exist in her brother's shadow. That's just her mom. So, Alex, I just want to say to you tonight, I know you're listening, and I want you to know that Mommy and Daddy, that there is not a minute of any day that you are not in our hearts and in our thoughts. I know you and Riley Rooster are together, and I know you're taking great care of each other. Daddy and I are counting the days till we can be together again. Well, folks, I hope you have all enjoyed our virtual celebration today and our closing ceremony tonight. We can't thank you enough for your support. You guys are the heart of the Raleigh Effect. As you know, today is our Christmas Eve and our Christmas Day all rolled into one. So on behalf of Bern, myself, Alex, and Riley, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy, prosperous New Year. Thank you.
Wow, that was heartfelt, Louise. Thank you so much for sharing from your heart and letting us into your lives, Bernie and Louise. You're a tower of strength and an inspiration to each one of us. Mr. Paul Dinn, will you come at this time and bring greetings? Paul is MHA for the Topsail and Paradise. So if you would come. Good to have you this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite, Bern and Louise. I'm really honored to be here. And I look at the gifts here and then I don't know how I describe it, but just wow, amazing. And I'm privileged to be bringing greetings. And I just want to acknowledge MP Kim McDonald, MHA Barry Petton, Councillors Darren Bent, Christine Butler, Junior Bercy, and I think I saw Gerard here somewhere. Gerard Tilley, yes. I think I got everyone covered. Chris wouldn't try it, but I gave it a go anyway. And I certainly welcome all else in this room and those who are watching. And I don't come with any notes, unless it's something very technical I got to speak about. Because I try and listen to what everyone says. And for something like this, you try and speak from the heart. You do. So I think of 3 words: faith, hope, and charity. And I can't imagine what you go through when you lose a child. Can't imagine. I can't imagine what you go through when you lose 2 children. But I can only wonder that it must be faith. It has to be faith that keeps Bern and Louise going. They know where Alex and Raleigh are. So you've got to be of tremendous faith to do what you're doing for this community. Hope. Well, I'm not going to talk about hope. Major Chris Pilgrim, I think you got that covered. So let's move on to charity. And this is the prime season for giving. Actually, it should be a season that's 365 days long. But because of the hope and the faith of Bern and Louise, look around at the charity that you've created in this community. It is truly amazing, truly outstanding. And it's not just today. You mentioned the other events that you've participated in. And to everyone out there watching, everyone who brought a toy or donated to the food bank or participated, you're the community. And what a community it is, just looking around. It's just outstanding. Outstanding what has been done. I came across this poem not too long ago. And to be quite honest, when I read the poem, I don't know what I was doing. I found this poem. And the first thing came to mind was Bern and Louise. Now, my kids will be saying to me, well, they're not kids anymore. They'll say, Dad, can you work this? But hang on. The Face ID works perfect when you got the mask off. And it's called Heaven's Child. I don't know if you've heard this one or not. And it's by Christiane Martin. I've taken a little poetic justice here, or liberties, and I've turned it into Heaven's Children. So bear with me. They're in the sun, the wind, the rain. They're in the air you breathe with every breath you take. They sing a song of hope and cheer. There's no more pain, no more fear. You'll see them in the clouds above. Hear them whisper words of love. You'll be together before long. Until then, listen for their song. So I thought that was very appropriate for this event. And like I said, I don't know how I came across the poem, but when I found it, and it took me a while to find it on, but anyway, I think it says a lot for today. And I look at these gifts, and you talk about, people, think about your kids. Think about when you were small, which is a long time for some of us, but think about when you were small. Think about your kids now. Think about Alex and Raleigh, Christmas morning, when they open that gift, when they see that toy, and the look of joy on their faces. Now, look around the room. How many smiles have you created? How many smiles has Alex and Riley created? This goes a long, long way. And in a year that we've had, where there's so many that struggled before and are struggling more, and there's more that are struggling that never struggled before, think about what this is doing for them. With the exception of the one down there, I said, elf on a shelf. I said, that might drive a parent crazy, but it's a wonderful toy nonetheless. And I think I can speak for, I don't like to call myself a politician, I call myself an elected official, a public servant. So I think I talk on behalf of MP MacDonald, MHA Petton, and the councillors that are here today, that we don't often get an opportunity to recognize the people in our community that do, as you said, ordinary things, but extraordinary things. We can, make a statement in the House, or we can help out by speaking up publicly or at an open line. But one thing we have an opportunity to do is present certificates of recognition for those people that hit milestones, or those people that do things that are extraordinary in the community. So I took the liberty today, and Major Pilgrim had mentioned that he's only been here about a year and a half. I haven't been here 2 years as MHA, but it's just been fabulous to come to know Bern and Louise. They're in my district. I'm very proud to say, because of what you do. So I took it upon myself. I did check with the boss there if I could do this. And I know it's not about Bern and Louise. I know it's not about you guys. I know you're doing this for Alex and Riley and their memory and keeping it going. It's just, it's really, really amazing what you do. So this is a certificate from the House of Assembly. It's one of the, I guess, the good things we get to do. Barry's shaking his head. We like to get out and do this, and I'm sure from a council perspective, same thing, and for a member of Parliament. So this is from the House of Assembly. It's presented to Louise and Bernie Mercer. As the member of the House of Assembly for the District of Topsail Paradise, may I extend my sincere congratulations to you on, and you mentioned it already, on community building, because that's exactly what you're doing in the memory of Alex and Riley. So I'd ask you if you would come up and accept this. And before I sit down, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and the best in the new year. I know when you hear 2020, people think of perfect vision. Well, when you think of 2020 now, it's actually the year you never saw coming. So hopefully we'll have a better year ahead of us, and we'll certainly face all the challenges front on for sure. So Merry Christmas to you all, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Good evening, everybody. For anybody out there that know me, my name is Bernie Mercer, and I'm the proud parent of Alex and Riley Mercer. At this time of the evening, every year Louise asks me to come on board and do the thank you list. And I'm so glad that it's only thank you, because I'd never be able to follow the people that came before me. You know, Paul just mentioned about recognition for what we're doing here tonight. You know, we never initiated this to look for any recognition. The only thing that we ever done was look for to keep Alex and Raleigh's memory alive here in Conception Bay South. But you know, there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes of this to make this such a possible event that it's been put off today. And the first person that I have actually got to thank is my wife, Louise. And as I said earlier, we don't look for no recognition. The only recognition we look for is for Alex and Raleigh. But just for the stuff that she has to do behind the scenes of this event, we met with the majors probably about a month ago. And I'd say from the month ago right up until, as you just heard her speech that she said earlier tonight, she has not stopped, not 1 minute, not 1 day, since we've been putting off this toy drive this year. It's been difficult, but as you can see, we've managed to succeed, and it's been a great success. So, with no further ado, I'd like to go down to my list. I'm going to start off with Claudette Hiller. She's been a driving force behind our event, especially when it comes to this toy drive and with our food drives. She's a driving force for us. I want to thank the majors, Chris and Claudette Pilgrim, for accepting us into the parish, for accepting to keep this toy drive that we've got going. Thank you very, very much. I want to thank Catherine Brenton for her kind words and for towards for Riley. Thank you very much. Paul Dean, for your kind words. Thank you very much, Paul. The band, you've done a great job again as usual. Thank you very, very much. Worship team, same. Thank you very much again. Parking lot attendants, Vanessa Lovelace. I want to thank Alex and Riley. I think I probably thanked Alex and Riley last year too, actually, but you know what? I really want to thank them again this year. They have contributed so much into this this town of Conception Bay South. It's absolutely amazing to see how many people come out to support anything that their name is attached to. Their names will never ever be forgot here in Conception Bay South. Like, you know, me and Louise try to do the very best that we can to make sure that their names will never be forgot here in Conception Bay South. I want to thank the singers of today. Louise went ahead and put a Facebook page together for today. She asked, I'm going to say, just over 20 people to put on a song, upload it. For Alex and Raleigh for today, they done an excellent job. Thank you very, very much. I want to thank the town of Conception Bay South. Town of Conception Bay South recognizes us as a community event. I want to thank you very much for partnering with us in all the events that we put off. Thank you very much. I've got some corporate people that came on board with us only within the last couple of years. Only for the last couple of years. And I want to sort of just mention the names of who they are. You know, when we first started our toy drive back 7 years ago, we started off and we just wanted, like, if everybody could come and bring a gift. And we figured that that's where it was going to go. But you know what? Over the last couple of years now, we've ended up with some, I'm going to use the word corporate, but we'll say just corporate sponsors. But I just want to acknowledge who that they have been. But before I do that, I'm after skipping down over Jessica. So I want to thank Jessica for her kind words for Alex. I want to thank Mackenzie, and I also want to wish Mackenzie a happy birthday, actually. Today is her birthday, so happy birthday, Mackenzie. So these names that I'm going to put in there for the corporate people would be Steel Honda, Olympus Canada, the City of Montpearl employees, Nalcor, Conception Bay South Dental, Eastern Health. There's a couple of departments at Eastern Health. I know Louise is at the peer program, and I know that the lab at the Eastern Health, they were on board with us. I know that. Bridell Transport, NAPE 6026, the Renegade Hockey Club, and CBS Squash. So, to no further ado, I'm going to say This would never be any kind of a success without everybody that donated toys. And as you can see, there's absolutely no way would I be able to remember anybody's name that's attached to any toy that we have here tonight. So I'm not even going to start to list all you people who you are. So you know what? Thank you very much for everybody from Conception Bay South, surrounding areas, far away. I know we have people in Ontario, farther out west. So thank you very, very much for contributing to our toy draw for this year. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Well, again, thank you very much. We're going to stand and sing our closing congregational song. Come on, ring those bells. Everybody likes to take a holiday. Everybody likes to take a rest. I tell you, we could all use a rest from 2020, couldn't we? Hopefully 2021 will be much, much, much better. But please stand with us, and we're going to sing it and enjoy it as we share. We get the words on the screen, and we'll sing it together. Let's go. Everybody likes to take a holiday. Everybody likes to take a rest. Spending time together with the family, sharing lots of love and happiness. Come on, ring those bells, light the Christmas tree. Jesus is the King, born for you and me. Come on, ring those bells, everybody say, Jesus, we remember this your birthday. Celebrations come because of something good. Celebrations we love to recall. Mary had a baby boy in Bethlehem, the greatest celebration of them all. Jesus is the King, born for you and me. Come on, ring those bells, everybody say, Jesus, we remember this your birthday. Come on, ring those bells, light the Christmas tree. Jesus is the King, born for you and me. Come on, ring those bells, everybody say, Jesus, we remember this your birthday.
Let's conclude our evening in prayer. Father, we thank you and we praise you for the reason why we celebrate, why we can ring the bells, and why we can speak about hope and love and peace and joy, why we can talk about the charity and the kindness of our community. It's because of the hope of Christmas. It's because of the joy that Christmas brings. It's because of the Christ in Christmas. That's why we can celebrate. Because when you came to earth as a baby, you came and brought joy and hope and peace and love. And you lived that. And you've shown us and given us the example on how we too ought to live, and how we ought to love each other, how we ought to support each other, how we ought to encourage each other and uplift each other. How we are to bring cheer to each other when there at times is such sorrow and such darkness that surrounds us. But we thank you because in you is the hope of life. You are the light of life. And when we know you, we know what it is to have life and to live life abundantly. And so we just thank you and we praise you this evening. We thank you for this show before us of the kindness and the love that we have for each other in this community. We thank you for the show of support that has been here for Louise and Bernie. And we thank you because it's this kind of support that brings others to us. It brings others to us asking for prayer. It brings others to us asking for support. And we thank you for bringing a need to us this evening and making us aware that the daughter of Durham Eason is in need of prayer this evening. And so, Father, whatever is upon her heart, whatever is going on in her life right now, we just pray that as we come together as one, believing in you who answers prayer, we just pray that you would surround her and that you would be the strength for the family that they need today. That's why we celebrate. That's why we come together, because we have hope in you and we have hope in the goodness of mankind. And so, Lord, we continue to celebrate who you are. We celebrate as we continue to journey through Advent, and we just pray that you would continue to be so real to us, continue to move among us, so that as we live and as we speak, as we sing and as we share throughout this season, that others indeed might catch the joy that we have in you, and that they too would come and seek to know you as the Christ child, Lord of their lives. So go with us tonight, Father, wherever we may find ourselves in the coming hours. We just pray that you would bless us and that you would use us to continue to share the joy, hope, love, and peace that only you can give. In your Son, Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen and amen.
Are there enough band members left to play some tunes as we just wrap things up here this evening? Merry Christmas, friends. Thank you so much for coming out and joining with us in this great evening, I believe, of celebration that we have enjoyed. And I will say to our, what is it you called it? What is it you called yourselves, Paul? The elected officials? Something like, I bet. Yeah, I wouldn't dare go there. So the elected officials, if you would folks stay around, and we'd like to get a photo around all of these toys, all right? And we believe that, Christmas is going to be great for a lot of families. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Yes. Now let's hear from the band again. Bless you, folks.